Hey everyone, it's Natalie and Miss Henrietta. Hi, sweetie. So today I just want to do a quick video on if you're no contact and your husband is guilt tripping you, because I keep getting these emails over and over again that the husband is trying to guilt trip the wife into back in contact with the narcissist. Well, because you have created a narcissistic injury by going no contact, if you let your husband guilt trip you back into contact with the narcissist, your marriage will be over. Straight up. Your life will be a living hell, and the narcissist will be out for revenge. Because how dare you, right? How dare you go no contact with the narcissist, even though the narcissist discards people like trash, right? Even though. So if you're in a situation where you are conflicted about what to do, don't act, okay? Because the worst thing you can do is go off of impulse or reaction to people please your spouse, right? And if your spouse is guilt tripping you or acting depressed and all sad, that's not because of you. That's because of their parent. You didn't do all that. None of this had to be that way. And so for your husband to put the blame on you and act like you're the one with the problem now because their mother all of a sudden wants a relationship with you and she'll be on her best behavior and you don't want contact, that's not your fault. That's not your problem. He's not mad at you. He's mad at her. And if he wants to blame shift and start pointing fingers at you like you're the problem, let him. Oh, well, sorry you feel that way. And I think the biggest thing is it's hard to see your husband down and out and sad and wishing and wanting the best for his whole family, his nuclear family, and his maternal family. But over time it will get better. I think it's really tough for your husband around holidays and birthdays. You'll see a dramatic change in his behavior around that time, because he knows that he's missing out on those celebrations with his parent. And so it can make him kind of feel doomy and gloomy, but you just hang in there. You don't fall for that trick, because in some ways it's kind of manipulative, because he's guilt tripping you. And even when he may not be verbally guilt tripping you, he is like visually guilt tripping you. And if you fall for that trick, because let me tell you, I fell for that trick a million times, and nothing ever made the relationship better between me and his mom. And I thought back then I was being forced into that relationship with my mother-in-law. But then once I woke up, I realized that nobody can force you to be in a relationship with someone that you don't want to be in a relationship with. That is the truth. Nobody. And also, nobody can force you to be abused, regardless if it's your husband or wife. You have to make those choices to protect yourself and make sure that the abuse does not occur anymore. And it's going to be difficult to sit there and see your husband, all sad, or have your husband, trying to have these serious talks with you about how his mother's changed and how everything's going to be different. No, it's not going to be different. She might change for a short period of time, and be all loving and caring and want to hang out and want to call you and all this bull crap. But in the background, she has already plotted against you. Actually, she plotted against you from the very first time she met you, but she really has a bigger plot now that you went no contact and you're entering back in her life. And what I've noticed is every time the narcissist discarded me and my husband and then hoovered back around, at first I'd be really excited, like, oh, finally she woke up, she sees the light, oh, I'm finally going to get the acceptance that I always wanted, I'm finally going to get the mother-in-law and the family that I've always wanted. But the truth was, she was only doing that for her own selfish needs. Her own selfish needs. It wasn't because she wanted to fix the relationship. It's because she was trying to get her supply. She was trying to get her family to come to her celebrations. It was about her needing some type of companionship in her life. It was about her grandchild. It was about being able to showboat her son and daughter-in-law and grandchild. It was about her being able to go and act like everything was okay in the relationship when she was around with her friends or family. These are just selfish needs that they're trying to meet. But the whole time that they're meeting their selfish needs, you're being abused. And it doesn't take long at all before they go back into action the way that it's always been. Because it can feel like at first when you go back into contact with these people or you fall for the hoover, it can feel like your adrenaline is pumping and your serotonin's up, because that fantasy that you've created in your head of the mother-in-law and the having all these family, like family support, if you want to call it, it can really excite you, and you can become overzealous. And then when you become overzealous, you start sharing things with the narcissist because you think, finally, like, she understands me. Finally, we have that relationship. And they put on a good game. They do. They put on a good show. And since, like, your emotions are high and you want that connection, you want that friendship with that person, you want that acceptance, you go in it full force, like, just oversharing. And what you don't know is, while you're having good intentions, while you're having a good heart, you're trying to make a connection, they're taking all that information you're telling them and plotting even more against you. And they're doing subliminal messages towards their son and your children about how horrible you are, and about how now you're the one who is not trying to make it work, that they are actually trying. And that's what they do, because since you went no contact, and if you go back into contact with them, they flip the script and then start pointing fingers, saying that, see, son, see, daughter, I told you I wasn't the problem the whole time. Your wife or husband is the problem. Look, I'm really trying. They flip it, because if you want no contact, it makes them look like the problem. But if they can go no contact with you, then it may, or discard you. It's not a discard. No contact's not a discard. Let me correct that. If the narcissist goes no contact with you, then it makes you look like the problem. And that's what's going to happen, is when you go back into this relationship, they ultimately, the whole goal of this is to flip the script on you. That's the whole goal. And it really sucks to see your husband not get what he wants, because as a wife, maybe it's the husband and the wife, whatever, vice versa. It's hard to sit back and watch your spouse, someone that you want to make happy, not get everything that he wants, not to meet all of his desires. But the point of this video is he's not mad at you. He's mad at her or him, whatever. Like if it's his father. You didn't create this. You came into this family to make it blossom, to add to it. And all that's happened is you went to war with somebody over your spouse. So you have a husband who especially won't wake up to what's going on in your no contact. Then you just keep on your merry way. You just keep on your merry way. You stay no contact. The other thing I wanted to say too was, in my situation, I don't look at it like no contact. I look at it like they're not in my life, because I think if you really think about it, going no contact with somebody means you have a relationship with someone you're not in contact with. I don't have a relationship with my narcissist, and so I don't consider it really no contact. I consider it like I do not have that person associated in my life at all. And like, I don't know. I mean, it's defined it as no contact, but I look at it as if I met a stranger in a store and they acted like my mother-in-law. Would I say, oh, well, I'm going no contact with that person? You'd be like, no, I don't even know that person. Screw that person. I see that person's dangerous. I'm never going around them again. And you literally never talk to them again. So they become strangers. They become even stranger than what they were already to you. And that's how I look at my situation. Like, my mother-in-law is a complete stranger to me. So even though it is defined as no contact, I look at it as though those people don't even exist in my life. You know what I mean? But that's a whole other video there. Anyway, I left the Zoom support meeting on the last video. I will see you guys later. Peace, love, and harmony. Bye-bye.